Pleasant meeting you all, my dear students. Welcome back to Social Science class. Hope you would have enjoyed your Diwali holidays. In today's class, we shall discuss about human rights in political science. Children, take page number 113 in your textbook. While watching this video class, take running notes compulsorily. Let's learn about the concept of human rights, meaning of human rights and its development, the Declaration of Human Rights. In lower classes, you have learnt about rights. As a fundamental right, in the Constitution chapter, you have learnt in 6th and 7th class. In that we have learnt the meaning of rights. Rights are nothing but reasonable claim of the person or authority of the person. In Indian Constitution, the rights are protected by the law. Now let's learn about the concept of human rights. How was it developed? The concept of human rights has developed along with the growth of civilization. This is essential for the peaceful living, coexistence, and development of human beings. So as to develop the human being society, we need peaceful living and as well as peaceful coexistence. Rights are the building blocks of democracy. So as to function the democratic rule properly and smoothly, the rights are the building blocks. The renowned political thinker H.J. Lusky declares that a nation can be identified through its human rights. Depends on the human rights, a nation can be identified. Human rights enable everyone to lead a life of dignity. To lead a dignified life, human rights are essential. And to ensure the development of the better society, human rights are indeed. Hence, UNO has declared the human rights and has said it is a duty of the state to protect the human rights. Here, the state means a nation or the country. So it is a duty of the nation or a country to protect the human rights of each and every individual of its country. Now let's learn about the meaning of human rights. Human rights are essential for every human being to lead a life of dignity. To lead a better life, dignified life, every human being, every individual needs human rights. And these rights are conducive to the development of human beings. Not only individually, it is conducive for the country's development as well as universal development. The roots of human rights are traced to Athens and Sparta, the two city-states of ancient Greeks. In the discussions of Plato, Aristotle, and Socrates on the relationship between the state and the individual, human rights are discussed. The human rights were first traced in the city-states like Athens and Sparta of ancient Greeks. And the philosophers, Greek philosophers, Plato, Aristotle and Socrates, while discussing about the relationship between the state and the individual, they have discussed even about the human rights. Now let's learn about development of human rights. In this, an important statement is Magna Carta. What do you mean by Magna Carta? Magna Carta is an agreement and which is the base of the English Constitution or British Constitution. During 1215 CE, the King John of England broke many ancient rules and traditions. King John has broke many ancient rules and traditions which was followed for many years and many decades. He has broken those rules, and because of that reason, people were revolting against the king and pressing for their rights. And as a result, the king entered into an agreement and signed Magna Carta. So, according to Magna Carta, the governments won't interfere in the church, and next, the citizens gain the rights to have private and ancestral property, and the equality of all in front of law was asserted. So, according to Magna Carta, the government won't interfere in the matters of church, and the citizens have gained the rights to have private as well as ancestral property, that is from the parents or else from grandparents, and all the people were equal in front of law. Magna Carta is an important development in the process of modern democracy. So if you see, in the modern democracy, Magna Carta became an important development. Now let's learn about the ideas of John Locke. John Locke has said that natural rights, people have natural rights to life, liberty and property. According to John Locke, people have natural rights to lead their life, freedom and property. Since these rights were natural, no one could take them away, including the government and king. And government is created so as to protect the rights of the people, and it has limited and specific powers which the people have approved or given consent to. So according to John Locke, the people are having natural rights to live and to have liberty, freedom and to have their property. So once all these rights became natural, no one have the rights to take away all these things from the people, including government and the king. The government rule as well as the government's role and the king's role has been created so as to protect the rights of the people. This was according to John Locke. Let's see few more points what he has told about. John Locke presented the first systematic discussion of human beings as natural rights. According to him, the basic rights cannot be given to any individual. Every individual is born with the rights of living and freedom. This gave prominence to individual rights. And this led to the bloodless revolution in 1688. Now let's see the revolution. How was it resulted? As a result of the glorious revolution, bloodless revolution in 1689, Bill of Rights was implemented. With this, human rights were given legislative guarantee for the first time. The glorious revolution or the bloodless revolution has taken place in English, Welsh and Scottish society in the place of Britishizers between the year 1688 to 89. Now let's learn about the revolutions in America and France. Because of the influence of the political thinkers John Locke, Charles Louis Montesquieu, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, the revolutions had taken place in America and France. According to John Locke, government's power is limited. People have natural rights such as life, liberty and property. And according to Montesquieu, the powers of government should be separated into separate branches. According to Rousseau, the government's should express the will of the people. Whatever the demands of the people, the government should express. People enter into a social contract with their government, giving it the right to create and enforce laws. So according to him, the social agreement had been made between the people and the government has given the to create and enforce laws. Now let's learn about the adoption of Declaration of the Man's Right. As we have seen the revolutions, as a result of those revolutions, American independence was declared in 1787. The list of human rights were declared on December 15, 1797 and included in the American Constitution as the first amendment to the American Constitution. The Human Rights Declaration in France in the year 1789 is an important milestone in the history of human rights. With this, the dictatorship of France was removed and the French Republic came into existence. So as the Human Rights Declaration had been made in France, which made the dictatorship of France to end, and thereby French Republic came into existence in France. This declaration assured equal rights to all with respect to freedom, equality, property and security. So these human rights have given the assurity that equal rights had been given to everyone in the country with respect to freedom, equality and right to own the property and to have a secure life. The Declaration of Human Rights. The development of human rights is not restricted to any single geographical area and it is universal in appeal. So if you see, the human rights which were declared is not restricted to only one single part of a country or is a single part of the world. It is universal. It is appealed. It is universal in appeal, which means it is applicable to everyone in the world. The League of Nations that came into existence after the First World War had a separate directive on human rights. After the Second World War, in order to protect the human rights, and with the efforts of Stalin, Roosevelt and Churchill, the United Nations organization came into existence. So after the Second World War, because of the efforts put by Stalin, Roosevelt and Churchill, the United Nations organization has come into existence. And after that, in 1948, so as to protect the human rights, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights was adopted in the United Nations Organization General Assembly. The General Assembly of United Nations in 1948, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights was adopted. And this declaration arose directly from the experience of the Second World War and represents the first global expression of rights to which all human beings are entitled. So everyone are covered, every individual in the world are covered under this declaration. The Declaration of Human Rights in the preamble of UNO declares that we the people of the world have decided to protect our future generation from the destruction of wars. War has driven us to sadness twice in our lifetime. Hence, the establishment of UNO is to prevent the human rights violation in any part of the world. In order to achieve this, the UNO directed all its member countries to protect the human rights compulsorily on December 10, 1948. So, in UNO, all the member countries, most of the countries had been included in UNO. If you see, out of 193 countries in the world, except 2, the remaining all are member countries. So all these member countries had accepted the Declaration of Human Rights. And this Declaration of Human Rights protects everyone in the world. And it prevents human rights violations in any part of the world. Children, in this class, we have learnt about the concept of human rights, meaning and its development, and the Declaration of Human Rights. In next class, we'll learn about human rights and the Indian Constitution. What are the difference between fundamental rights and human rights? And the institution which protects the human rights. The institutions like National Human Rights Commission, State Human Rights Commission, and the National Commission for Scheduled Caste, Scheduled Tribes, Backward Classes, and Women and for Minorities. Watch this video class more than once, children. Read through the textbook, and next part is to do your home assignment and workbook assignment. The home assignment is, I have given you the 4 questions. First one, what did H.J. Lasky declare about human rights? Second one, who signed Magna Carta? What is Magna Carta? When did UNO adopt the Universal Declaration of Human Rights? So these are the 4 questions you have to write in your homework notebook. Children, write neatly the answers with the questions. Write the homework index properly. Mention today's date and the lesson number with the branch of social science, that is political science, means you can mention PS chapter number 3, and today's date you can mention in the homework index. Next is about workbook assignment. In workbook assignment, page number 81, first main fill in the blanks question number 1 and 2, and in page number 81 and 82, second main answer the following question number 1 and 2. And in page number 83, first main choose the best alternative, question number 1 and 2. In page number 84, second main fill in the blanks, question number 1, 2 and 3. In page number 84, third main answer the following briefly, question number 1 and 2. So once again I am repeating, for the answer the following, children, if you are not finding the place, you can see behind this chapter there is a blank space given. There you can write the answer with proper main. So if it is the second main, answer the following, write there. Page number also you have to mention. Page number 81, second main, answer the following. First question, answer you can write over there. Okay. Thank you, children. Let's see in the next class.